Hello and welcome to another painting video. Today we are going to be painting Bastion from the Sentinel pack that came out. He's going to be pretty simple. We're going to start with his skin because that's the stuff that always takes the longest. We're going to start with pale flesh. You don't need a whole lot. And we're going to thin that out. And we're going to get our boy's face here. And his neck and all that. His ears. So let's just pick all that out. It's okay if we get a little bit on the shirt. That looks like a mechanical thing on the back of his head, so we're not going to worry about that. I'm going to get his hands. Rare super character, like not superhero, but you know, like what I mean, like a comic character that doesn't have gloves. He's a robot, so I guess he doesn't need to protect his hands from anything. Except unless it's touching dirty mutants. Look at the fingers. And that should be pretty sufficient enough. So while that dries, we're gonna tackle the bodysuit, which is black, but we're gonna put a little bit of gray into it. We use this basalt gray. And we're just gonna kind of do like a weird edge highlight, muscle highlight situation. To kind of pop it out a little bit more. So we're just gonna kind of define like the edges of like the knee, the strands of like the muscle that are here, like the parts that are on there, the calf part, little dip at the bottom of the ankle, do the same thing, and then like on the tip of the shoe. Same thing for the abs. We can kind of just put a little bit of color in each of the corners. Like that. And then we can get like his, I don't know the word for this, people call them cum gutters. If you want to be rude about it. Just outlining the knee there, outside of the calf, tip of the shoe. Just to break up the boringness of the black color on the model. You could dry brush this too if you wanted to like expedite this a little bit. And just dry brush the black on. You don't have to be too crazy about it. Okay, and then we're gonna move to our purple, which is the same purple that we used for our Sentinel our proper Sentinels. This blue violet. It's my favorite purple. It's very good. I like the color. It's very vibrant and exactly what I want for this. So I'm gonna go through here and paint his little chest V situation, his little dicky. And if you're joining us from our last video, where I made my excuse for my 3D printer, you already know what's going on. If you're just new here, maybe go check out the Nimrod video, and it'll answer all your questions about why it's so loud, where'd I put that purple? Here it is. Why my camera sucks, if it does, I don't know. And all that stuff. So if I waited for all those things to fix, then I would never get back to painting. And like I said, you just create excuses for ourselves, and I'm trying not to let myself have any like out in that way. So we're just gonna have to deal with what it is right now. Okay, now he has these little like gold like things on him. He's brassy brass for that, like these little buttons and like tube hookups. I don't think they're buttons, but yeah, you know what I mean, like little plugs on him that we're gonna get. Oh, there's a doggy in here. So let's go through here and kind of pick those out. So we got this one here, that one there, there's this guy, this paint is pretty gnarly. I'm just trying to use what I can here. This Vallejo has changed all their metallics. I'm trying to get out what I can with them. There's another plug here. Got some silver tips here. For this, I'm just following the box art. You can kind of figure it out for yourself if you want to at home, or be creative with it if you want. But I am going to be following the box art for all this. It's because my Sentinels are painted traditional Sentinel colors and stuff like that, so that's what I'm going for. Okay. And the back, can't really get anything in there. Okay. Meantime, I think I have some white on my palette. I'm gonna take some of this like regular matte white paint, and just to help us out here a bit, I'm going to kind of dab this up, and then the same thing with the fire on his hands, so that we can use the contrast that we used on our Nimrod to kind of tie all these together. I'm gonna try to have some coherency with some colors here and there, you know? So, doesn't have to be perfect. You just want some coverage. There we go. Now we will take our Reichland Flesh Shade for his face. Now that that's had some time to dry up, I'll put this all over the face. I'll also put it on the hands. And just just on this part of the hand that we painted. Okay, so then that has more time to dry now. Okay, now we're gonna switch to a more metallic color for the, is this metallic? It's not just a more metallic color, it is a metallic color for like the rest of the hoses and stuff on him. I don't know how I feel about this new formula for the metallics. I really like the old gunmetal color, and this is kind of a bummer that it's not an exact match to that. But we take what we can get. In this economy, right, Chandu? Right, Chandu? He gets it. He said, "Yup." What is that color? Like, what the heck is that? Found this this metallic to be very watery and not very, it's not as good as the last one. Let's just leave it at that. That's the problem. You can't get too complacent with your paints, too happy with them, because they will change the formula. They're gonna change the formula to something cheaper, and it's not gonna work how it used to. So try to find a match as best you can, and then just move along. And it'll add some variety to your stuff. You know, it's not all bad, right? They won't all look the same. But if you were in the middle of a project and you ran out of paint and you weren't finished, well, everything in that project is gonna look a little different. So like for me, like my Cities of Sigmar army, it's gonna be a little bit different now, because that gunmetal, I mean, I still have a little bit left and I'm trying to save it for them to see how much I can get out of it. But that's kind of what I think my next big project's gonna be. Like I know I had Astra Militarum on the table. They still are. I'm still going to make them, but since 11th edition was announced, the rules change, of course. So, and they're talking about, you know, maybe some war gear is going to cost points again. So I don't want to build anything that I may not have the points for. So I'm just being extra cautious and waiting until the codex is out and all that stuff before I commit to building anything. For the Cities of Sigmar, I got a lot of the new models too. I got like the big tower tank thing. I got some new infantry guys. I got the terrain piece. What else did I get? Oh, like a new wizard guy. I've been trying to get a Gandalf to work for a while, and now I don't have to convert one. So that's nice. That's nice of them to give us a new wizard. So yeah, and there's lots of big creatures in my list, so that's gonna be fun. Yeah, like I said, I just kind of been in a cosplay and like anime mood lately, so, and TCG mood, so I haven't really been painting a whole lot. So I'm just trying to get back in there slowly. You know, I never promised weekly videos, so you know, they'll just come as they come, and then you know, we'll figure it out. So now we're gonna get some just regular black, and we're gonna fix all the areas that we hit. Also, actually, while the purple's still here, I missed a spot. It's got a little cuff here. that is purple. And I get that. Gotta have that. How would they know it's Bastion if he didn't have his little purple cup? Okay. Yeah, because that metallic paint's so splashy and thin, we have to take our black paint now and kind of clean up all this stuff right here, like that got splashed all over. And that's part of the downside of all this, is that now I gotta clean up the mess. Like, oh, why didn't you do that first then? You do the metallic first. I forgot, okay? I forgot that the new stuff was not the greatest. So here we are. Let's clean up the little spot there. Let's clean up here. All right, that looks pretty good. Got all the splashes out. Now let's go to a medium sea gray, our go-to gray. I'm going to get the goatee and the hair. So what's this? You see here that we're like, didn't paint the back of the shirt here. So we just gotta, while we're here, there we go. Go back to the gray. And we're gonna fill in the hair. It's kind of like a Quicksilver hair. You can leave some of the black. He's got some roots. And he's got this little metallic thing on the back of his neck that we'll get with that same silver that we use. And again, since the purple's still here, we're just gonna clean that up. Okay, now we can take some off-white. We're gonna just kind of like go over the hair and goatee again, just a little bit lighter. So just to give it some more. Just to give it some extra pop there. Now we're going to take our Doomfire Magenta, which is our little color in the middle here, and our fire color. We'll deposit it into there. And we'll do the same here. It's going to be probably the darkest at the tip, and then get lighter as it goes towards the hand because it's hotter down there. I'm just kind of following like regular flame logic, with blue flame being the hotter one. Let's go here, do the same thing on the back side. That. And then we can move in to to the basing at this point, and that's just getting our gray here, our medium sea gray, and just did this on the Bastion video, but you can see it's a lot better on a black surface like I was talking about. So for the Bastion, I have to kind of go back in and clean that up, or like add a black wash to the whole thing and then just brush it again with the gray, which is also a possibility. But yeah, so we just kind of fill that out, and we get the stuff on top as well. We don't really differentiate on the base, like between like dirt and concrete. Like it's all concrete and asphalt hooked together. We don't have to worry too much here. We're just gonna get those painted. The big slabs can have more paint on them, like that. And then if we want to, we can also kind of go into the chords here and give like a little dry brush just to pop out some more variety in here, avoiding the body. And then for the eyes, which I almost forgot, we will be using the Doomfire Magenta also. Well, first of all, we can take that off-white color, just a little bit, and put it in the very middle here. And while it's still wet, get some of that Doomfire Magenta, but like get most of it off your brush and just kind of put it over the white. Just to give it like a little shine in there. Okay, now the eyes, which is the part I hate the most. We're going to go in here. We're going to do our best. It's a little crazy, but kind of works. And we'll try to get his eyebrows a little bit too here. So we can just go here, put the top of the eyes. There we go. And that is how we paint our Bastion, Bastion for Marvel Crisis Protocol. As always, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll catch you guys on the next one.